Welcome back to another episode of the Mindset Dojo with John, your mindset coach. And in today's episode, we're going to focus on why you don't need another system or another tactic in your business if you're not where you want to be right now. If business success was just down to strategies and information, then ChatGPT would be able to create the perfect business model for you and everyone would have successful businesses. But the reality is it's the person behind the blueprint that matters most, and that is where most business owners that I connect with on a daily basis fail. It's nothing to do with the systems that they're running. It's nothing to do with what the business coach taught them, because it's all valuable information. It's them getting in their own way. And until that changes, then nothing else really changes. And I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now, and most of my work has been with small business owners in different industries, in the trades, across different continents, in the US, some here in Hong Kong, some in the UK, some in Canada, but there's always patterns for what really keeps them stuck. And yes, there is 10 to 20% who get stuck because of business systems and strategies when they're in that scaling space, but majority of them fail because of these core things. And we're going to look at it from the framework that I use, which is called the I.A.M Framework, right? So we have I-A-M. Super easy to remember and super, super important. So I starts with identity. How you see yourself is so important. If you don't see yourself as a successful business owner, or if you don't see yourself as a person who is capable of having success, then no tactic or strategy that you're going to try is going to stick, because you're always going to fall back to the narrative that has got you to this level already. You're always going to fall back to that mindset narrative that's going to lead to you self-sabotaging any opportunity that you have to grow your business. So the identity that you carry is so important. And most people's identity is based off of their influence. It's based off of their past. It's based off of their parents, their upbringing, which creates certain narratives of who you think you are and what you're capable of. You start to label yourself, or people have given you labels and told you what you can or you can't do. You've stepped out of the shadow in some sense by starting a business, but you're still trapped and conformed by those old identities, those walls that surround you, those labels that are stopping you from doing what it is you need to do on a consistent basis in a way that's not going to lead to burnout, and in a way that is sustainable and progressive over time. The second part of I.A.M is alignment. This is aligning the frequency of you to the person that you need to be. Now, this one can be a little bit challenging for people to grasp, but I like to look at it as identity and mindset is the visualization, right? It's what we create in our mind, the mental pictures, the mental constructs of who we want to be, the goals that we have, the visions that we have, and then think of the alignment, the vibration is you, right? Your entire being, the energy that you carry in your body. So I like to take it out of my mind and step into my body and move my body into that future version of myself, because that is where the energy is stored. And once you can drop into the body of the future version of you and start to feel it in your body, you start to feel a shift. You start to feel lighter, you start to feel more energized. So that is alignment. And this is something we need to do over and over, because you're going to fall out of alignment. You're going to fall back into a past identity, a past frequency. Most of you are operating off of your past frequencies. These energies that you have in your body, it's based off of past narratives, not of what you need to be. And finally, then we have mindset. How you think and how you see the world. How you interact with the world. How you perceive the world. How you frame opportunities. How you look at problems. Everything comes back to your mindset, which is driven by your identity as the starting frame. It's when we start to change these, suddenly all those things that we've been trying to force starts to change. And this isn't just for you. I want you to look at this from the perspective of your team. Look at this from the perspective of where your employees are sabotaging you and your business and themselves by constantly falling over themselves, by constantly making mistakes, by constantly not following the systems that you create. What you see is the behaviors: coming to work late, bad attitude, poor customer service, losing their losing their control with a customer who's difficult to deal with, not getting on with other employees. You see the behavior, but that's just the end result of what's happening at a mindset level for them. And it's until we change that, then nothing else changes. And that's why we talk about the train and grow model, which I'm going to be bringing into the Daily Business Mindset Dojo, which we'll be launching soon, because it's so important that we integrate this into your team, because that is where we can start to now help them take ownership and take accountability of their own actions, because they now have the tools, the techniques, and the strategies to transform their mindset and be able to be more conscious leaders in the workplace, so they can be an asset to you and not a liability. So I want you to take this away and try it on for yourself. I want you to ask yourself, how do I really see myself? What is those words that I would best use to describe me? And I'm not talking about when you're at a networking event. I'm talking about when you're by yourself and that internal dialogue. Because that's your identity. That's the real narrative that's beneath the surface. I want you to think about what that is. And I want you to ask yourself, what identity do I need to have the business and life that I want to have? Next, I want you to ask yourself, what are the thinking patterns, feelings, or destructive behaviors that show up in my life on a daily basis? And once we start to bring awareness to it, now we can start to take action. Now we increase the choice and our ability to be able to change it. So I hope you've enjoyed this mini session. It's something we're going to be doing a couple of days a week as we lead up to the launch of the Daily Mindset Business Dojo. If you're not in our Facebook group, I'll drop the link in the comments below to make sure you can access it directly. So until next time, be well, and as always, ascend higher.